This demonstration will give you an overview of Forest Watcher and its features. I'll be walking you through the app on an Apple device today, but it will look similar on an Android device if that's what you're used to using. The app will prompt you to log in when you first open it. As you can see, you can log in with email, Facebook, Twitter, or Google. We recommend that if you already have a MyGFW account on the Global Forest Watch website, use the same login for Forest Watcher. If you do not already have a MyGFW account, you can click on the sign up link at the bottom of the screen. This will redirect you to Global Forest Watch to sign up for your MyGFW account. To use the option to log in with email, you must already have a MyGFW account. After you log in for the first time, you will be presented an overview of the new features in Forest Watcher. You can hit continue after you've viewed these new features. And the first thing that you'll need to do is to set up an area of interest. As you can see, you would receive a prompt to do so. Areas of interest are the areas that you intend to monitor using the Forest Watcher app. This could be an area of forest that you manage, or really any area that you want to keep track of. So for this example, I'm interested in monitoring an area in Cambodia. So I'm going to click on the search button, and you can either scroll down to find the country or you can type it in. So I'm going to type it in, and then I'll hit next. And then as you'll see, you'll get to a map of the country that you typed in. I can then zoom in and out of the country or the area by placing two fingers on the map and moving them away from each other to zoom in and closer to each other, to move out. You can also twist your fingers to move the map around. There's a compass feature in the top right corner in case you want to reorient yourself and bring north back to the top. You can also turn on contextual layers to help you orient yourself by clicking on the gear icon or cog on the upper right corner of the app. So I'll click on the gear icon now, and that'll bring up the layers. And right now, no layers are turned on. I'm going to turn contextual layers on by clicking on the circle. And you can see that it is now a green check, but right now it's showing 0 contextual layers. So I'm going to click on the gear icon again down underneath contextual layers. And you can see all of the contextual layers here. We have protected areas, and we also have the tree cover loss data from 2015 to 2018. This is the annual tree cover loss data provided by the University of Maryland. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the protected areas layer because I'm looking to find a protected area in Cambodia. I'll hit the back arrow to go back, and you can see now the new contextual layer is added to the map, and that's the blue that you see on the map. I'm going to then use this data to help me find my area of interest. Once you've found your area of interest, you can use your finger to draw out the boundaries of your area by tapping different points around the perimeter of the area that you want to monitor. So I'm just tapping out different points. Now, if I make a mistake, for example, I make it too far, on the bottom left, there's an undo, and this will take me back. Also, if you choose an invalid shape, for example, choosing something that's not a one whole shape, the app will tell you that the shape is invalid, and you can hit the undo button to go back. So I'm drawing out my area of interest, and as soon as I'm done, I'm going to hit the next button. You must now enter a name of the area you just created. So I'm going to name this Area 1. And then you'll hit Finish when completed. Your area is now set up and ready. It's up to date, and it will appear in the Areas section of the app. So if you go back to the home screen, which is by clicking this arrow back, you can see that there are 4 different options: areas, reports, routes, and settings. And by clicking on areas, you will now see your area of interest there. If you would like to add more areas, there is a green plus button on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Clicking here allows you to create additional areas of interest. I'll go back, and you can see at the bottom of the screen there is also a Share Areas button. When you hit that button, you have an option to select your area, all your areas, or just one area, multiple areas. And when you do, you'll notice that the file size will display on the Share Areas button. So you can see here that my area is 1.2 kilobytes. When you hit this button, you then have the option to save your area or to send it to your contacts as a sharing bundle. And this can then be opened by any of your contacts, and it would be displayed in their own device within their Forest Watcher app. I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want to send this area to anyone right now. Right now, I'm actually interested in looking closer at the area I've created. And I'm going to click the area, and I'm going to allow Forest Watcher to use my location because this is important when I'm going on my routes to investigate any alerts. So here you'll see a prompt that tells you that you can create reports and routes for your area by dropping a pin. That icon on the lower right of your screen is the pin icon to drop a pin. And by tapping on it, you can also see that you can create reports and routes also by tapping on any alerts in the app. So you'll have some prompts that kind of help you and tell you where to go. You can also customize the map display by the gear icon or the cog on the upper right-hand corner. And here is where you can turn on and off the layers that are relevant to you and your area. So right now, I'm going to click on the gear icon to see what layers are open. And you can see that in the cog, there are different available layer types for customization: alerts, routes, reports, and contextual layers. On the bottom of the screen, you can also see that there is a place for you to change your base map. So for example, if I click on that, I can see that the base map is currently set to satellite, but I can change it to default, dark, or if I click on the bottom, I can actually manage my base maps. But I can also manage my base maps from the settings screen, so I'm going to go into more detail about base maps and how to manage that later. So right now I'm interested in monitoring alerts in my area. So I can look at my available layers and I can see that already under alerts, it's the green check means it's turned on already. And underneath it, it says showing GLAD, which means GLAD alerts are already switched on for this area. By clicking on that gear icon, I can manage my alerts that are being shown for this area. For GLAD alerts, pink pixels show that there was an alert that occurred within the chosen time frame. Yellow pixels show new or recent alerts that are within the last 7 days, and green pixels show alerts that I have reported on using the app. I will get to how to report on an alert next. For the VEERS fires alerts, red pixels show alerts within the time frame chosen, and purple pixels show alerts that I have reported on. To change the time frame of the alerts, click on the bar under time frame. You can see that for GLAD alerts, there's the option of 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, and 12 months, and I can hit done. And for fires alerts, if I were to turn those on and look at the time frame, there's the option of 1 day, 2 days, 6 days, and 12 days. But I'm gonna turn off fires because right now I'm interested in looking at deforestation alerts that happened within a 1 month time frame. So going back to the map by clicking the arrow in the upper left corner, you can see that there's two pink circles. One has the number 457 and one has the number 49. And these are alerts that have been bundled into groups to make them more manageable. So if I zoom out more by putting two fingers on the map and putting them closer together, you can see them coming together to show that there is 506 alerts within the last month. And if I go in closer, they'll start to disperse more as the level of detail is higher. You can also click on a bundle of alerts, and as I click on the bundle, it'll zoom in more and more until you get to the pixel level detail. When I click on an alert, you can see the type of alert it is and the date it was issued at the bottom of the screen. So you can see that this is a GLAD alert that was issued on the 17th of September. At the very bottom of the screen, you have a menu of options for this alert. The first one on the left is the triangle and the green circle, and this will allow you to start recording a route, and we'll discuss that shortly on how to do that. The next icon is the X, and this will deselect your alert. So I can click it and click the X and it takes it away. You can also just hit the alert itself to turn it on and off. So you can either touch the pixel to turn it on and off, or the X will deselect it. The next icon is the GPS icon, and that will immediately center the map to your location. And this will help you navigate to your alert. The last icon allows you to report on your chosen alert. And you can also click on multiple alerts and report on multiple at once, or record a route or a patrol for all of these alerts at once if you would like to. Now, perhaps you might see some deforestation that the GLAD alert did not pick up, or you see something interesting in the area. If so, you can use the pin icon and put the pin to wherever you would like to then make a report or a route to, so it does not have to correlate to an alert. I can also center the pin on an alert, and you can see at the top, it'll show you your own coordinates. So my coordinates where I am are at the very top. It'll show you the coordinates of the destination where the pin is, and it'll also show you how far away from your destination. If I'd like to record a route, I can click on the icon on the bottom left, the triangle and the green circle, and start walking. Once your route has started, you'll see the bottom left has now turned into a red circle, the red button. And this you would click on when you would stop walking, and it would stop recording your route. To report on an alert or at a point wherever, if your pin is somewhere, the alert needs to be selected, or you need to have the pin drop to the location. You would then click on the notepad icon, and you will first be prompted to take a picture of the area. To take a photo, you would click on the camera icon on the bottom left. Here you can choose to take a photo, or you can select an image already stored on your phone by selecting Choose from Library. If you decide to take a photo, you'll have an option to retry or select OK. And you can take multiple photos by clicking on the camera icon again, or delete photos by tapping the trash can. So I'm going to upload a photo from my library. I'm going to upload this photo, and you can see that I can upload a second photo if I'd like, or I could delete this photo by clicking the trash can. Once you're happy with your photo, you would click the green arrow. You will then be prompted with questions from the report template assigned to your area. You can create a custom template using Forest Watcher Web, or you can use the standard template that comes with the app. The template's questions are conditional based on your answers. So for this one, it'll say, do you see deforestation or degradation, with the options of yes, no, or unsure. So I'll choose yes, and then click next. So now it's asking, is the deforestation or degradation recent? So I can say yes or no. And also it's asking me or indicating if there's any regrowth. So I can say yes. And now it's asking me to describe the driver. So I will say clear cutting, and then I can hit next. So do you think further action should be taken in this area? If you say yes, you can write a brief description as to why, or any other information about what you might recommend. But you don't have to write anything here. So you can hit next, and then there's a place for you lastly can put any other notes, and then you can complete the report. If you would like to save the report as a draft rather than complete the report, you can hit this bookmark icon on the top right-hand side, and it'll say save for later. It will appear as a draft in the report section. But I'm not going to save this as a draft. I'm happy with my report, so I'm going to hit next. And now's your chance to review your reports, make sure everything's correct. It'll already automatically populate the date, your coordinates, where you've reported your coordinates, what kind of alert it was, and then your answers to the questionnaire in your picture. And you'll have the option to delete the report and start again if you're not happy with it or something's incorrect. Or you can send the report. So I'm going to hit send, and you'll see report is sent. I'm still on my route though, so I can continue to create new reports along my route by clicking on another alert along the way and dropping a pin to my location. If I didn't want to do that, so I can deselect this. I can drop a pin somewhere else. I can make a new report. But once I'm done with my route, I will click the red stop button on the bottom left of the screen. And you can from here stop and save your route, or you can delete your route as well. If you've made a mistake and you'd like to continue on your route, you can tap the big X next to stop route tracking to take you back to the map and continue your route. But right now I want to stop and save my route. So you'll want to give your route a name. So I'll call it route 1. And then you can change the difficulty of how easy it was. So the options are easy, medium, or hard. So this one, you would have to move back and forth. And then you'd hit the save route. So now you're back on your first screen. You can see that the alert is now green, indicating that I have reported on it. So now if I hit the arrow out of the map view and leave the areas view as well, back to the home screen, I can click on reports, so the second bar, and you can see that my report is listed there. Reports will be saved as completed until you have internet access. And when you have internet access, they'll be saved as uploaded, where they're saved to the server. I currently do have internet access, so mine was uploaded immediately. But if you're out in the field and don't have it, it won't be uploaded until you have Wi-Fi again, but it will be saved locally on your device until you can upload it. Only uploaded reports are viewable on Forest Watcher Web. You can click on an individual report to review report contents. So I can click the report, and then you also still have the option to delete the report if you had made a mistake. You cannot, however, edit the report after it has been completed. When you are viewing a report, you can click on the green icon on the top left to export it if you would like. Reports can be exported as a sharing bundle or as a CSV. Also, if you see that your reports are categorized as completed and you already have internet access, then you will see here an option to upload the report as well. So then it'll be categorized as uploaded. So I am going to go back to my reports screen right here, and you can see that at the bottom there is also an option to share reports. So if I click that, I activate sharing mode. And from here you can choose select all if you have multiple reports you'd like to share, or you can share individual reports or pick and choose which reports you might want to share. When I click on a report, you'll see the file size at the bottom. And then when you click share reports, you can then export it as a sharing bundle or export it as a CSV. So now I'm going to click the arrow on the upper left to go back to my home screen, and I'm going to look at my routes by clicking on the routes bar. So here you'll be able to see all of your saved routes. You can click on settings on the route to access its details. You can view it on the map so you can see where you walked in map view. And you can also see the distance, the date, the difficulty, how long it took you to do this route, and you can make changes to the name and you can edit the difficulty. You could also delete it if you made a mistake. Like with reports and areas, you can also share your routes by clicking the share button to activate share mode. And it will be the exact same workflow where you can then share it to your contacts or also download it to your device. Lastly, you can actually download your route to use in offline mode by clicking the download button, which is on the bottom left-hand corner of your route. So clicking that will download the route, which you now see has turned into a little check, which means that it's been downloaded. Now let's go back to our home screen, and you can see from here we'll explore our settings option. So I'm going to click on settings at the bottom. So in the settings menu, the first option you'll see is an option to log out. This is especially useful if you are sharing devices amongst team members. Also within settings, you can change your coordinates format. If you tap on the bar under coordinates format, you can see a screen that asks what format you'd like to display with the option of decimal, degrees, or UTM. So you can choose your option and then tap done. Next in the settings, you'll have the ability to toggle offline mode. Offline mode is useful in areas where you might not have Wi-Fi connection and you don't want to use up your data. So this will allow you to still go on routes and collect reports, but you don't have to upload the reports until you have Wi-Fi connection again. So this would be similar to your phone's airplane mode, but just for the app. The app won't try to connect to Wi-Fi or your data while in offline mode, so you can protect your data. And you can see when you're in your areas, it will say on the top right, offline mode. So it'll let you know that you're in offline mode, so any new reports you create will not be uploaded. So I'm going to go back to my settings and I'm going to turn off airline mode. Below offline mode, you'll see a bar that says basemaps, and this is where you'll manage your basemaps. Here you can add custom basemaps, you can share your basemaps, and you can also download the default basemaps for offline use. So we'll go into basemaps, and you can see the 3 default basemaps: satellite, default, and dark. To download any of these basemaps or all of them for offline use, you would use the little download icon, which is to the right of each default basemap. You can see that they say not downloaded. So I will download default, and the green bar will appear as the map is downloading. When it's finished downloading, it will say downloaded, and the download icon will change to a check mark. I'm going to let this download a little bit because it does take some time to download. But once it's downloaded, you'll then be able to switch to this basemap when you don't have internet access or when the app is in offline mode. If you'd like to add a custom basemap, you would click the green plus sign in the top right corner up. Now you can see that it finished downloading and it says downloaded. So to add a custom basemap, you'd click this green check. Here you can see that the supported file types are MB tiles. It's important to note that the basemap cannot have any vector elements. So I'll click custom basemap. I will add the basemap I'd like. I have to name it, so I'll just name it satellite 2, and then I can import the basemap. And you can see under custom base maps that this base map shows up. And you can also see the file size underneath it. So now this base map will be available if I go back and I go back to my areas and I open my area. I can click the gear icon. I can click where it says base map at the very bottom, and I can turn on satellite. And I can go back, and the base map should change to the new satellite base map that I just downloaded, as it just did. I'm going to go back to my settings and base maps. Now I have default base map also downloaded, but if I want to delete that and make it not downloaded, I would hit the edit button at the bottom left. And here I can delete the downloaded default base map so that it's no longer available in offline use and it would only be available in online use. But I could also edit and delete my custom base maps as well. So let's say I'll delete default. And you can see that now it's turned back into not downloaded, and I'll hit done on the top right. You can also share base maps by clicking the share base map on the bottom right corner. And here, when I hit that, I can then select the base maps that I'd like to share. I can only share my custom base maps. If I select it, you can see that the file size again shows on the bottom, just like it did with the areas and with the reports and the routes. And then I can download it to my device, or I can share it to one of my contacts. So I'm going to go back now. Now let's look at the settings of our contextual layers. Here you can download layers for offline use, and this is going to be the same process as basemap, so I won't go into that now. And you can also add new contextual layers. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click the top right plus, and you can see that there's two different types of layers. You can add a global forest watch layer or a custom contextual layer. So to add a global forest watch layer, I'd click there, and there are 7 additional layers that you can add. So for example, if I wanted to add managed forest concessions, I'd click there, and you can see that you can view the description of the layer. And you can also download the layer so that it's available for offline use, or you can do online access only, and this layer will then only be available when you're online. So for this demonstration purpose, I'm going to click online access only. I'm going to add the layer, and you can see that this layer is now shown at the bottom of the managed forest concessions. If you change your mind and you'd like to download the layer, you can still do so from here, and you can also delete the layer when you hit edit. If you'd like to add your own custom layer, you'd click the plus sign again on the top right, and you can see the supported file types at the bottom. So I'm going to click custom layer. I'm going to find the layer that I want to add. I can add a name for it, and then I'm going to import the layer. And you can see that the layer now exists under custom layers. The file size is underneath it, and I can actually share any of these layers. So I can select all of them. I can deselect all. I can share one layer or multiple layers. And when I click share layers, I can then save it to my phone, or I can send it to a contact. Lastly, you have the option to share all app data, which is under contextual layers. By clicking this button, all custom layers, base maps, areas, reports, and routes will be shareable as a bundle. So you can save it to your phone, or you could send it to a contact, and they can open the bundle on the app on their own device. So if I click there, you'll see that that automatically gives me the option to save or to send. Some other things to note is we have an About This App section. We've expanded our frequently asked questions in the app to give you more detail around the new features in case you have any additional questions when you're exploring the app on your own. And you can learn more about our terms and conditions and our partners. And if you have any issues, you can feel free to contact us using the button at the bottom. I hope you enjoy using the new and improved Forest Watcher app, and that you find the new features useful for your work. If you have any questions about the app and its use, experience any difficulties using it, or would just like to tell us a bit more about how you use the app in your work, we'd love to hear from you.